Hey everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood, your name. And let's be real for a second, you think you know Canada, eh? Think again, bud. Canada may seem like just a cold, vast expanse of wilderness. And yeah, we got a lot of that, trust me, but it's actually a country packed with more surprises than a birthday clown with a chainsaw. From quirky cultural practices to incredible natural phenomena, Canada offers a rich tapestry of unique and unexpected experiences. So buckle up, grab some poutine and get ready to have your mind blown, because we're about to dive into some of the most fascinating and lesser known facts about this incredible country. First up, let's talk about size. Canada is huge. It's the second largest country in the world, covering a whopping 9.98 million square kilometers. That's like trying to fit all of Europe into your back pocket. Spoiler alert, it ain't gonna happen. We're talking about 3.85 million square miles of pure, unadulterated awesomeness. From towering mountains to sprawling forests, Canada's got it all. And hey, with all that space, you're bound to find some pretty interesting things, right? Speaking of interesting things, did you know that Canada's home to more lakes than any other country in the world? Yeah, you heard that right. We've got more lakes than you can shake a hockey stick at. And trust me, as a Canadian, I know a thing or two about hockey sticks. So if you're ever feeling thirsty, just come on up to Canada. We've got enough fresh water to quench the thirst of 1,000 suns. Now, if you're planning on exploring all that vast Canadian wilderness, you're going to need a good set of wheels. Luckily, Canada's got you covered on the road trip front. Get this. We've got one of the longest highways in the world, the Trans-Canada Highway. This bad boy stretches over 7,800 kilometers, connecting the country from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. That's like driving from New York City to Los Angeles and then back again, and then doing it a few more times for good measure. Just imagine cruising along the coast, wind in your hair, breathtaking scenery whizzing by. You might even spot a moose or two along the way. Just maybe don't try to take a selfie with them. And hey, if you get tired of driving, there are countless charming towns and cities scattered along the route, each one with its own unique flavor and, more importantly, its own Tim Hortons. Okay, this next one is where things get a little wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. You see, Canada is so ridiculously big that it actually spans across six different time zones. We've got Newfoundland and Labrador doing their own thing with a unique half-hour time zone. Then you've got Atlantic, Eastern, Central, Mountain, and finally Pacific time. It's enough to make your head spin faster than a Bieber concert. So if you're planning on calling your friends back home while you're visiting Canada, you might want to brush up on your time zone conversions, or, just send them a text. But hey, there's an upside to all this time zone madness. It means you can technically celebrate New Year's Eve 6 times in a row if you're really ambitious. All right, let's talk about the weather, because let's be honest, that's what everyone wants to know about Canada, right? Yes, it gets cold here, like really cold. I'm talking about the kind of cold that makes your nose hairs freeze together and your eyeballs feel like they're going to shatter. But hey, at least it keeps the vampires away, right? Just how cold does it get? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because I'm about to hit you with some knowledge. The coldest temperature ever recorded in Canada was a bone-chilling -63 degrees Celsius. That's -81 degrees Fahrenheit for you Americans out there. This record-breaking chill went down in a tiny little settlement in the Yukon called Snag back in 1947. But hey, don't let a little thing like frostbite scare you off. Canadians are a hardy bunch. We embrace the cold, and then we go inside and crank up the heat. Because, let's be real, even we have our limits. Okay, let's move on from the cold for a bit and talk about something a little more, well, warmer. No, not poutine, not yet anyway. I'm talking about Canada's incredible national parks. We've got more national parks than you can shake a beaver tail at. And they're not just your average run-of-the-mill parks either. These bad boys are massive. Take Wood Buffalo National Park, for example. This sprawling wilderness in Alberta covers a mind-boggling 44,000 square kilometers. That's bigger than Denmark. It's bigger than Switzerland. You could literally fit entire countries inside this park. And it's not just about the size either. Canada's national parks are home to some of the most breathtaking scenery on the planet. Towering mountains, pristine lakes, lush forests, you name it, we've got it. All right, let's talk about something near and dear to every Canadian's heart and stomach. Donuts, specifically Tim Hortons donuts. Look, I'm not saying that Canadians are obsessed with donuts, but okay, fine, maybe I am. We really, really love our donuts. In fact, we love them so much that we eat more donuts per capita than any other country in the world. Over 1 billion donuts are consumed in Canada every single year. That's a lot of dough, people. And the majority of those donuts come from one place, Tim Hortons. This Canadian institution has been serving up coffee and donuts since 1964, and it's become about as ingrained in Canadian culture as hockey and saying A after every sentence. Now let's talk about some of the furry, four-legged residents of Canada. No, not moose this time. I'm talking about polar bears, specifically the polar bears that call Churchill, Manitoba home. You see, Churchill is known as the polar bear capital of the world, and for good reason. Every year, hundreds of polar bears migrate through the area, making their way to the Hudson Bay to hunt seals. Now, as you can imagine, having hundreds of giant predatory bears wandering around town can be a bit of a safety hazard. So, what did the good people of Churchill do? They built a polar bear jail, of course. No, seriously, Churchill has a special facility where they temporarily house polar bears that wander into town. It's basically a big, comfy holding cell where the bears can chill out until it's safe to release them back into the wild. Okay, this next one is a bit of a weird one, even for Canada. Are you ready for this? You will actually weigh slightly less in Canada. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. In the Hudson Bay area, the gravitational pull is actually slightly weaker than it is in other parts of the world. This is due to something called isostatic rebound, which is basically the Earth's crust slowly bouncing back after being weighed down by glaciers for thousands of years. So if you're looking to lose a few ounces without actually having to put in any effort, just book a one-way ticket to the Hudson Bay. Just don't expect to see a dramatic difference on the scale. We're talking about a difference of about 1/10 of an ounce. All right, let's talk about trees. Lots and lots of trees, because Canada is home to a whole lot of them. In fact, 10% of the world's forests are located right here in the Great White North. That's a lot of green, folks. We're talking about forests so vast you could get lost in them for days. Not that I'm speaking from experience or anything. But seriously, Canada's forests are truly one of our greatest treasures. They cover over half of our landmass, and they play a vital role in keeping our planet healthy. They help to clean our air, regulate our climate, and provide a home to countless species of plants and animals. So, next time you're enjoying a breath of fresh air, take a moment to thank Canada's forests. Okay, time for another weird one. Because, let's face it, it wouldn't be a video about Canada without a healthy dose of the bizarre. Are you ready for this? In Canada, you can legally own a kangaroo as a pet. Yes, you read that correctly. In Alberta, it's perfectly legal to keep a kangaroo hopping around your backyard, as long as you have the proper permits, of course. Now, I'm not sure why anyone would want a kangaroo as a pet. They're not exactly known for being cuddly or affectionate. But hey, to each their own, I guess. If you've ever dreamed of having a pet that can out-jump you in a heartbeat, then Alberta is the place for you. All right, let's wrap things up with a couple more quick facts, shall we? Starting with this one. Canada is home to the world's smallest jail, located in Rodney, Ontario. This pint-sized prison measures a measly 24.3 square meters. That's smaller than some people's closets. It was originally built back in 1862 and was used as a lockup for rowdy drunks and other petty criminals. These days it's no longer in operation, but you can still visit it and marvel at its diminutive size. Just maybe don't try to spend the night there. I hear the accommodations aren't exactly 5-star. And finally, let's end things on a high note, shall we? Because believe it or not, Canada is more than just moose, maple syrup, and ridiculously cold weather. We're also a pretty smart bunch. In fact, Canada is one of the most educated countries in the world. Over 50% of Canadian adults have a college degree. That's right, we're basically a nation of brainiacs. So next time you're looking for someone to win you a trivia night, be sure to have a Canadian on your team. We'll be the ones with the obscure knowledge about the world's smallest jail and the proper way to eat a poutine. So there you have it, folks. 12 surprising facts about Canada that you probably didn't know. I know your mind is officially blown, but hey, that's the beauty of Canada. We're a country full of surprises. Just when you think you've got us all figured out, we'll hit you with something new and unexpected. So the next time you're looking for an adventure, come on up to Canada. We've got something for everyone. Just maybe pack a warm coat. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed learning these fun facts about Canada, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing content.